Hello and welcome to my Premier League rankings video where I'm going to rank every single Premier League team based on the 22-23 season that has just finished and ranking and rating all the teams from the scale of 4 to 10, 10 being the highest, really excellent season, 4 being the lowest and to be honest kind of a fail of a season for the teams in question that finished there. And beginning the team that maybe is quite of a fail of season, maybe I'm too harsh, but I'm actually putting Chelsea there, and maybe under Pochettino they will do better next year. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But to go from 3rd place to 12th and 30 points less than in 21-22 season, it really just was nothing went Chelsea's way this season. Then next team a bit higher, but well, that's just because they finished 17th the season before. This season 19th and got relegated. It doesn't make the feeling of getting relegated any better. Moving to another team, and it's going to be again from London, and this time I'm actually gonna put them 10, and it's Arsenal. And why is that? Even though they didn't win the league, I see moving to 5th position to 2nd, and they were close to winning the league at some points of the season. Last 2 months really killed the hopes for them. But other than that, those 2 last months, Arsenal they did well. Next team, not so much, from 8th to 18th and got relegated. And it wasn't great year for Leicester overall, and really a disappointment. And really nothing else to say about them. And maybe after next year they could be back in the Premier League, but they're gonna lose some big players for sure. Then the next team, I'm not sure how to grade this team, but I'm gonna put them 6th and or 6th grade for them. And Wolves, they didn't get relegated, or they weren't really that close, at least at the last moments of the season. But it wasn't great season for them either. Finished 13th if I'm not mistaken. The next team though, they finished much better, and it's 3rd time in a row that Manchester City they won the title, so how can I give them anything else than 10? And they have a chance to winning the treble this year. Then quite contrary for this team, and maybe I should put them 5 or something like that, but 4 for Southampton. They were last team in the league, and even though they were 15th team the season before, this season it just nothing worked for them. Another London placed team whose season didn't go that well, and that would be Spurs, and I'm not sure whether to rank them 6 or 5. Maybe a bit harsh again, but I'm gonna put them 5 simply because to go from 4th place Champions League football and all that to not qualifying for Europe at all, I do think Spurs fans will look at that as a disappointment. But you can let me know if you're a fan of any of these teams in the comments. Am I mistaken or not? Then another London-based team, and I'm gonna rank them at 5 as well. So at least they didn't get relegated, but it wasn't a great season for West Ham either. Go from 7th European football, it still could happen if they win the Conference League final. The 14th position, not great for them there. This next team, things didn't work out for them either. But at least maybe this was more expected for them, and that's going to be Everton. Finished 16 before this season, 17 this season, so quite expected maybe, but either way it still won't get better for Everton fans. I would think they wanted much more than finish 17th and barely stay in the Premier League. Crystal Palace on the other hand, quite hard to grade this team, but I'm gonna put them maybe 7th. I'm not sure how much was expected from them, but they didn't get relegated, and they really weren't that close of getting relegated either, so okay season for them, nothing major there. Next team, and maybe I'm too generous with this team, but I'm actually gonna give them a 10. And their season Brighton, it was just great overall, and European football for them, Europa League to be exact, and they just played good football throughout the season. And even the coaching change, it really didn't matter that much. Next team, they didn't get relegated and coming from championship playoffs last year, so I would consider even though Nottingham Forest not the greatest season maybe for them, I would still consider that 7, or that's my grading system at least, but 7 for me. Not great, but at least they didn't get relegated, and they secured the safety before the last match of the season. This team, though, I would have to give them a 10, and that would be Newcastle. Their season, it just was amazing overall, and to go 11th to 4th and Champions League football for them for the first time since a long time, it's just great for Newcastle all around. This team, it didn't look good about a couple months ago or a couple months before the season ended, but in the end they did quite well. I'm gonna put Bournemouth at 7 as well, and it could be better or could have been better, but they didn't get relegated, so at least that's that. And coming from Championship, it's important that they don't just go straight down, but stay in the Premier League. This team it certainly stays in the Premier League, and they did pretty well, even though they didn't get to Europe. And I would actually put them 9 for Brentford, and they were actually quite close of getting into Europe. Had Aston Villa or Spurs lost some points, Brentford would be there instead of Aston Villa. And European positions are, to be more exact, Champions League now to speak of, and it's Manchester United, and 10 of a season for them as well. I would think their season it was just great, and at Old Trafford they did great most of the season, and they are back in the Champions League after 1 year of absence. And from 6th to 3rd place, I do think that's worth a 10 season, maybe 9, but I'm maybe being overly optimistic or pessimistic for some of the teams. Team that finished in European spot for the first time in a long time, it was Aston Villa, and I'm gonna actually put them 9 and maybe 10, but one of the reasons I don't really have space there, but 10 maybe for Aston Villa, but I'm gonna put them at 9. And then a couple last teams. First it would be Fulham, and I'm gonna put them 9 as well, just because, coming from Championship, they won that, but to finish 10th, I do think that's great for them, and they weren't that far of finishing in the European place, or last European place that Aston Villa got, so I would think Fulham, they had a good season. And then the last team, Liverpool, maybe a bit hard to rate, but I'm gonna put them at 6 because obviously it was disappointing season to go from 2nd to 5th place, but at least it's Europa League, so at least that's something, not like Spurs who finished outside the European positions overall, or Chelsea. So Liverpool, it could be worse for them. But what are your thoughts about my rankings, and do you think I went wrong for some of the teams, and maybe Chelsea, should it be higher than 4? Was that disappointment that huge? For me it was, but let me know your thoughts in the comments, and hit the like and subscribe for more football content, and have a nice day.